Good afternoon, everyone. I want to tell you a story about a leopard charge. So this particular female in this photo at the moment was called Twin Spot. She passed away not too long ago, of old age though. But I had a very close encounter with this female. So myself and my tracker one day found very fresh tracks of her and the two youngsters coming down the road. And we stopped and we said, well, let's go see if we can find it. It was a very nice, coolish winter morning, so the dew was on the grass. And usually with the dew on the grass, when you view in the path where they were walking, you can actually see where something walked through. It's like in the morning when you walk on the grass, you can see your tracks. You could see through the grass where she went through, and myself and my tracker followed these tracks through the grassy area. And generally when I go and track an animal, I'll take my rifle. I have a 4.58 rifle, so I'll take my rifle but put 2 rounds or 3 rounds in my hand. I won't necessarily load it into the magazine. It's just out of probably self-stupidity, but that's how I usually go out and track an animal. And myself and my tracker set off from the vehicle, and I asked the guests just to stay in the vehicle and stay quiet, and we'll see them shortly. And then there we went. So probably about 15 minutes of very cautious and very slow tracking, because of course, remember, you are tracking a leopard with cubs. We slowed down, and the grass was about probably belt line high in this one patch. And as we went through this little area and I pushed away the branch, and I heard a very strange noise, like a little growl, like a and I stopped and I looked at my tracker and I pointed towards my ear and like, did you hear that? In a very soft voice. And he's like, no. And generally he's very, very good in listening in all scenarios, and if he didn't hear it, then I just probably hear something that wasn't there. So we went through this little guarri bush, and as we started walking further on, and the tracker came through as well, we all of a sudden just heard this coming through the grass, and you just see paws and head. And this leopardess came full speed towards us with a lot of noise, a lot of growling, and a lot of just energy behind her. And it was so quick that the only thing that we could do is stand still and scream at her. And it's like, hey! And eventually she stopped. But between that section of where she started charging to the point of where she stopped felt like minutes. But in general, it was so quick. So just keep in mind, a leopard charge anything between 22-24 meters per second. That is quick. That is really quick. So she came from about 30 meters to up to about 5 meters before she stopped. It is really, really scary. It is something that you don't really want. And but the funny part is, even though it was that quick, like I mentioned, it felt so long. Okay. But we have a thing that's called belt grab, when a lion or a leopard or something is charging you between you and your tracker, where the tracker will actually grab your belt and you'll try and stay with you. But my tracker was so big that he actually pushed me towards this leopard. And the more I'm screaming hey and try to stop him, the closer the leopard comes, and the closer he pushes me into this leopard. In the end, when she stopped and she turned, we saw the two youngsters jumping out of the tree, and she moved off, and I was just like, hey girl, come on girl, don't worry, we'll leave you alone. While she's growling at you like, and and also that hissing type of thing. And yeah, eventually we walked away. Luckily we got away, and on the way back to the vehicle we were actually starting to laugh, and I think that was just part of the adrenaline. And I said to him, yes, you mustn't push me towards the Leopardess. But it was so funny because that was the first time I heard my tracker speaking proper English. And it was just so amazing where he was just like, hey girl, come on girl, hey girl. It was really, really an interesting adventure. Look, I'm not going to lie, interesting adventure, but also very, very lucky to be alive and still telling the story and laughing about it. But when I got back to the vehicle and we were laughing and we were chatting and told the guests that we found the leopard, to push the clutch at that moment was so difficult because there was just no power in the leg and everything was bouncing. And it's just like, yeah, it was such an amazing experience, and it's something that you can never exchange in your life. But to look into those eyes of that leopardess coming at full speed and to change your direction so quick, because never stare a leopard down. Like I said, it was such a beautiful experience. Something that you can never change in your life, and it's something that I'll never change in my life in any way. And look, it's not something I'm going to do again in that particular way, but it's just absolutely amazing.